Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to this week's Ponderous Wednesday. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Ponderous Wednesdays are where we take a thought-provoking and interesting topic, have a good old natter about it here on YouTube to stimulate some interesting discussion and get those brain juices flowing. Now, this week we have a fascinating topic which has been suggested to me by a viewer and customer, and that is all around self-restraint and emotional attachment when it comes to gold and silver coins. And it's something that you don't necessarily get with other types of investments, but this customer recently sold some coins and realized he had quite an emotional attachment to them and had a huge wave of seller's remorse. So it's a really interesting topic. Along with that, we're going to talk about self-restraint in terms of budget setting, goal setting, expectation setting as well for your purchases, what that might mean for you. Also going to share some of my own kind of thoughts and opinions on like what I'm expecting to do and get out of these 1 ounce gold Queen's Beast series coins. They are very, very good indeed, but again, it's about that emotional investment, about that emotional attachment to them. What are you going to do with them? How are you going to handle the situation? Are you going to miss them terribly when they're gone? And what implications do those kind of questions have on your decisions about what to buy, when to buy, and how much to buy? Now, of course, there's a whole host of different things that we're going to talk about today. Highlighted some of them there. All that I am saying today are just my thoughts and opinions on this subject as it relates to me, my own expectations and my own experiences. I'm not here to give financial advice, and I'm certainly not here to tell you what you should or should not do with your cash. I think it's much more important for you to make those decisions on your own. And I would highly recommend that you go and do as much research as possible before making any financial decisions. So this customer in question recently sold some of his 1 ounce gold Queen's Beast series. Now these are mine that I've got here, and I thought what better time to get them out and showcase to you all that I have got all of these now in hand, which is really exciting because I love this series. And this customer recently released some of the premiums that have been growing on some of the coins. I think he mentioned that he sold sort of the first three, so the lion, the griffin, and the dragon, which have been garnering some pretty tasty premium growth for sure over this last couple of years. The lion and griffin being the standout coins there. To some extent, the griffin is actually performing better than the lion, but it's really quite interesting. Nevertheless, this customer decided that the time was right to release some of the premiums and capital that was in these coins. And immediately after he did that, he then sent me an email and said, I've sold some of these coins, but I have huge seller regret on doing so. Now that's potentially because he thinks that maybe they could have done better. And there's an argument to say that yes, they could do potentially better in the future. But what actually came out of that suggestion for me more than that was the fact that this person was emotionally invested, emotionally attached to the coins. He knew that they were perfect specimens of those coins. He knew that they were very, very good, and he wanted to, his reasoning for selling them was part of his goal setting, part of his expectation setting to reinvest those profits that he released in those into other things, whether it be gold, silver, stocks, shares, property, whatever it might be. Having that diverse portfolio is, of course, really important. But he still got that huge wave of seller's remorse. And he mentioned that he didn't get that with all of the other types of investments that he's got. Stocks and shares, for example, they're just numbers on a screen and you sell them and it's done and you don't get emotionally invested in them. But physically holding these coins and seeing them and enjoying them and taking them out and having a look at them, you get emotionally invested in them. And I do as well. These coins here I'm showcasing with you guys here on YouTube, I love these coins, and Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I have our goals, have our expectations about what we want to do with these coins, and likewise to this customer, at some point we will be looking to sell these coins and release the premiums that come with them so that we can reinvest those profits into something else, whether that be another set of gold coins or some more bullion gold coins, or whether it's into a property or stocks and shares or whatever it might be, pension funds. There's a whole host of different options out there. But myself and Mrs. Backyard Bullion are very, very taken with this series. We absolutely love it, and it is difficult to think about. We want to keep a certain set of them, but then if you're keeping the 1 ounce gold set, that's an awful lot of capital to lock up just to have something pretty to look at. So there's a kind of rational mind and there's the irrational mind which goes along with investing in these coins, and that's something that's really important to take account of. If you're the kind of person that can completely disconnect from that, that's fine and that's great. But a lot of the time it's very difficult to do that, and it can be very difficult for a lot of people to say goodbye to the certain coins and investments that they have made. And I think it's really important to plan for that in the early stages. So budget setting, expectation setting, goal setting, these are all things which need to be done at a really early stage if you are seriously considering these kind of things as an investment. If they are just a bit of a hedge, a bit of a, something to put in the closet for the future generations, I guess it's less important to think about and worry about and get yourself too worked up over. But it's still something to factor in that, down the line, this is money, this is fiat cash that has been put into something that you can get the money back out of, but you do need to be quite diligent about doing that if that's something that you're going to do. Now, one of the most important things around self-restraint in my books, and this is probably one of the most important points, is that of budget setting and budgets, keeping to those budgets. If you are looking to get involved in precious metals, and I've seen quite a few people, it happens quite a lot, you see a lot of people on the forum saying, oh, I've just discovered that there's this world of precious metals and I've got a certain amount of my savings and I want to put X amount, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 pounds of my savings into gold or silver or precious metals. Yeah, you can do that, but self-restraint is of course incredibly important. These yellow shiny coins have for centuries been the lure of humankind. It's an addictive process, and I've talked about gold and silver being an addiction before, but it really is. You get your first silver coin, and it was exactly the same for Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I. We picked up our first silver coins and we fell in love. We were addicted to them. We could not wait to get more, and as time progressed, we put more and more of our savings to one side into gold and silver. So it's a really interesting process that people go through emotionally with these, and we enjoy them, we collect them. And collectibles is really important as well. These of course are just kind of bullion grade coins. Whether they are deemed to be an investment is another interesting question. I think it's very important to remember that these are, they're a hedge ultimately, these coins. There's premiums to be made on some of them, yes, but they're not guaranteed by any stretch. And we always look at these as kind of that pension style hedge. If the worst case scenario happens, we've put money to one side in the form of these silver coins and gold coins. It's not something that we're going to rely on, but it's something that obviously we have got quite a lot of our cash locked up into. So it is something that's important for people to remember, that it is, planning ahead and put your expectations in place such that you will be able to manage either way. Because if you overspend, if you take that £20,000 worth of savings that you've got and you plough it all into silver and gold, and then 2 weeks later your boiler breaks and you need to sell some of it, you're going to lose out unless you've been very lucky with spot price going up and you can find a good buyer quickly. You're going to lose out. It's one of the most common ways that I see people losing a lot of their cash in this kind of game. So manage your expectations well, manage your emotional response as well to them as well. And it's okay to get emotionally attached to things, whether it be proof coins from the raw mint. And this is another important thing. Self-restraint is really important when it relates to seeing what to buy. I've shown some incredible coins out here, and I think that these are potentially very good winners. We've seen some great premiums on the earlier coins, and I think that some of the later releases will go that way, but I'm not convinced that some of the later releases will go to the likes of the Griffin and the Lion here. But they are nevertheless collectible, so there's always going to be a bit of a premium on them. That doesn't mean they're a surefire thing though. So just because you've seen me or somebody else talking about them or buying them and talking about how good they are, or you've seen somebody buying 100 of each of them or whatever, don't go and immediately think that that's right for you. You need to look at what your circumstances are, exercise that self-restraint, take a step back and think to yourself, why am I going to be buying that? What is the reason for me buying that? Am I going to get something out of it at the other end? What is my plan for exiting with those coins? What am I going to do with the proceeds of those coins? Because Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I could sell these right now, but what would we do with the cash? We've put that cash to one side specifically to invest in gold and silver. If we were to sell these right now, we'd probably buy some more gold. And that is kind of part of the plan. We would have these 6 gold coins and the premiums might add up to 1/7 gold coins. So we'd trade these in for 7 ounces and we'd be up an ounce of gold. That might be the way out for some people. Potentially that's what we're looking at doing with them. there's a whole host of different things to consider. And the same goes for things like my hand-pulled silver. So I've got these two big bars out here. Now these are very pretty, no doubt, and they've been made, actually I was trying to make 250 gram bars, and this one's too heavy, this one's too light, and I thought they were very pretty. And if it speaks to you and it's something that you think you would enjoy, then of course buying these type of things is really nice and it's very good. But please exercise self-restraint. I think it's really important to remind you all that yes, I make hand-pulled silver, it's premium hand-pulled silver, it takes a lot of time, energy and effort to make them, expense for us to create them, hallmark them and all of that. But at the end of the day, they are expensive pieces of silver, and you should really only purchase them, or any of my products, if it's something that you think that you want to have as a collection, as a hobbyist item, as something that you enjoy. Just what's right for you. If you think that I'm going to become the next greatest thing in terms of premium growth on poured silver, then great, thanks, that's really, really nice to know. But the pragmatist inside myself says that these will just be kind of a luxury hobbyist item and not necessarily the best investment. So, it's each to their own, and I know there are certain people out there who think that these type of bars will be worth very large sums of money in the future. I don't know, maybe it would be nice, but I don't know. And that's the whole point. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell you what you should or should not do with your money other than yourself, and you should go out there and you should do your own bits of research and exercise that self-restraint, please, because I've seen so many people fall victim to this whole game, and I hope that it comes across that, and I've said it so many times in my other videos, you really should do what's right for you, and not because other people are saying it, or because I'm saying it, because I'm making these videos. I know it's quite difficult to kind of, I sit here with 6 beautiful 1 ounce gold Queen's Beasts and say they're amazing, and then you think, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to go and buy them. You've got to remember, guys, that whilst I have 12,000 subscribers, I am just a guy who buys gold coins and shows them here on YouTube. Just because I have 12,000 subs doesn't make me an oracle on these type of things. So it's really important to remember that. Anyway, look, I have rambled on quite long enough about this topic. I think it's really very interesting though, and I think self-restraint is probably one of the most important things to consider if you are new in the game, or even if you're an old hat and you've been buying a lot of stuff throughout the last couple of years or months. So do comment down below with your thoughts on this subject. I'd love to know what you think. If you would like to suggest a topic for a future Ponderous Wednesday, then please do comment down below with that as well. And don't forget to put a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more of these type of videos in the future, hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. And if you have hit that subscribe button, hit the alarm bell as well, then you get a notification when I upload videos. Otherwise, that is all I have to say. A massive thank you to you all for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And as always, please make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.